Hi, I'm Linda. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Today I just finished up a real simple painting. It has an acrylic background that I painted in first. The trees in the back, I'll show you how I did it. We let it dry, and then I put liquid clear on it, and basically 5 colors. That's all you'll need. So I just start from the top, leave an opening for my moonlight, put in a bridge, and the water's a little bit of reflection. You're going to love doing this one. So follow along, pause and paint. So let's get started. And here are the paints I used. Acrylics, black and white. Oils were by Winsor Newton. Titanium white, black, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, small tube of turquoise by Gamblin, green light by Artist Loft. And so now I found a platter that's probably 12-inch round, and that makes for a nice bridge. So whatever you can find around the house that's about that size will work really good. So now I'm going into acrylic black, and I've got a 1/2 inch of filbert that I'm putting in some trees all the way at the top. Kind of a short brush. I believe I am going to switch to a little longer filbert that works a little better. But it's still about a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to start at the top, pull it down, and they're nice sized trees. They're not real huge, but there I am switching. Get a nice load on your brush. Now this one is a smaller filbert, round, and because I'm doing little smaller trees here, and I'm just going to arch that one kind of inward a little bit. It's not going to be very thick. And another one, put another one on the other side of it, from the top all the way down. Now I'm using a liner brush for some smaller trees, and I'm excuse me, pulling upward with those. And so I'm putting some little branches on those here and there, squiggling little arms. Putting some short ones there right at the base of that bridge, and on the other side too. And excuse me, arching out some more tree limbs. Going to the other side, another smaller one with my liner brush, pulling in some little arms. Just creating a little forest back there. And just keep going, filling in. Got lots of little arms there. Now I've got a little dish there that I put some acrylic white with a tiny touch of black. I wanted the very, very light gray, and I'm trying to form the back edge there underneath, about center, underneath the bridge where the stream is going to go underneath. So I'm just creating a little line there where the water will follow to the bottom of the canvas. Just to kind of guide me there as to where I'm going to have it. So that one I'm coming off to the right, and now I'm taking a nice soft filbert there, and I'm just kind of zigzagging on that edge. Just creating a little dark edge of the stream. I'm starting to put in some rocks or some darker areas there in the stream So I'm kind of holding my brush a little bit sideways, but it makes for some nice rocks here and there. And I'll be putting more on the sides. And that's straight black. Putting a few more in the middle there. Some boulders on the side, rocks on the side of that stream. Working my way on the other side. There's going to be a little water runoff there. So I'm just creating a water line there with the dark. So now I'm with I've got a big 1-inch round brush. Tapped it in some black. I'm just doing some groundwork for some leaves. Far away leaves, distant leaves on those trees. And it's going to be really dark up there, so that it'll work really well. Just tap in some shapes very lightly, clusters of leaves up there, and the top portion is going to be quite dark, a lot darker. I'll leave some of those open areas light, just leave a few open. And that's where the sky will kind of show through. And I'm tapping lightly, very lightly. I'm making shapes of leaves off the branches. A little harder on the edges, but I'm just kind of covering that area of the forest. Working my way down along the edge there, edge of the forest. Tapping kind of the lay of the land. You can make it however you want. And working my way on the other side, filling in some of those leafy areas on those branches. Leave the middle part open if you can, because that's where the brightest area will be of light. I want it to be kind of a hollow effect. I want it lighter in the center and then on the outside darker with the leaves. And just filling in the ground with little bushes and darker toward the bottom there, a lot darker. So now I've let that dry totally, probably about 20 minutes worth, and I'm taking liquid clear and I'm going to go over the whole thing, a nice even coat, and then I'm taking a blue shop towel and I'm going to wipe most of that off. I just want it to have a slippery surface so my paint will flow nicely on there. Okay, so now I'm tapping in some titanium white right in the center there. That's where the brightest area is going to be for your moon. And toward the bottom there, a little bit on the stream, but mostly right in the center. So now I'm going into a little bit of Prussian white and a touch of turquoise. Very, very small amount, and lots of white. I want it to be a kind of a powdery turquoise blue, and just work that down into the back line of that landscape horizon line. So now I'm going right into phthalo, and I'm going at the corners at the top, darker on the corners, darker right on the top. Little X strokes. Don't go into the center though with that. Stay on the outside edges. A little bit dark. We'll be able to wipe out some of that to bring in some of the sunlight through the trees. So just work your way all the way down. and around. And just keep going, adding that dark phthalo. Because it is a moonlight. So now I'm taking a shop towel and I'm just gently circular motions buffing out the edges of that dark blue, exposing some of those leaves that we put in with the acrylic. A lot of that will wipe off, so you'll get to see the little arms and the leaf shapes. So now I'm going into that same turquoise, really powdery blue, and I'm going to go all the way down to where the water, looks like where the water ends, underneath that bridge. Really can't see the bridge right now, but you will. So I'm going back into phthalo. I'm going to go on the edges and then take my shop towel and just gently take a little bit of that excess off. So now I'm going down, little phthalo, light phthalo with white added, and going into the stream. Now in the center of that moon, I'm taking a shop towel and I'm really accentuating that light area. So now I'm going into that green light with a little bit of white. I'm going to create a little row of bushes back there, right where the stream is. Just tap a little row of bushes. So now I'm going into a very, very dark Prussian, a little bit of black. I'm going to make some little tiny little bushes, little sticks and things right just below the center line there where the stream starts to go back. I'm going to put a line of little dark bushes back there, and I'm going to go on the other side and do the same. There's no set pattern. The other side, left side, seems to kind of go uphill a little bit. That's fine. Just make it however you want to. And with the edges of the shoreline there where the water's kind of seeping, I'm just kind of tapping in a dark line. Alright, I've got a really small brush. I'm adding some blue in the back, and that will extend to the right and it'll slowly disappear. And then I'm adding a little white to that too. Because the farther away, the lighter it will be. Adding a little medium to light phthalo there. I'm going into that dark color again. I'm going to spruce up my trees a little bit because they've got a little white film on it from the white paint. So all you need to do is go right over the top of that with the filbert and just darken it up. It's mainly black. Same brushes, just go over the tops of those to really make them stand out really nice. And you can go and correct some of those with the liner and do those other smaller trees here and there too. Same with your little arms, the branches, they need to be defined a little bit. But I wanted to keep that misty look of the moon, so that's why I'm going over the top of those little branches. Now with the kind of a medium phthalo, I'm going to tap in at the top of those green bushes. Just at the top, I'm going to put some highlights with the blue on top of those. And I'm going to go right up above that, and I'm going to put some blue on some of those leaves. Just a little bit. With a round brush, just tap it in real lightly. Kind of shaping those leaves a little bit. I'm going in with a little darker now, more black and Prussian, because it is moonlight, but I want a lot of those dark leaves to show. So I'm kind of going back over the top of some of those dark ones in the back, leave some of those blue areas exposed. Well, here I am with my platter again, and I'm taking a black pen. I lined it up at the where the base of that bridge is, and then the top of that bridge. I just want a little line there so I know where to paint. So I'm going into straight black with a liner, and I'm going to go over the top of that. It doesn't have to be very thick, just a thin line, steady as you go. And it is thinned out a little bit. It's not thick paint because you want to make sure it sticks. So it's thinned out just a little bit. I've got odorless mineral spirits that I use, and it flows really nice. And until you get the thickness that you want, then I start putting in my rungs. I think that's what they call it. My little railings inside. And I've got them spaced out. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're not real super close together. I've got two together, and I made a little bit of a space, and then I put another two. But they're not very thick. They're just, they're distant, so nice straight little, there you go. So now I'm taking some of that phthalo and a tiny bit of white. I want to bring in some of that darker blue down in front where the stream is. And the light will be hitting down there, the moonlight. So I'm going to, with my palette knife, I'm going to add a little bit of a shoreline, a little bit, streamline, where the moon is going to hit. And you can mess around with your dry brush and shape it after, just to get it down there. It seems like the palette knife does a great job of just laying that white down for you. And you can use the small edge or the wider edge. I use both. Depends on where I'm at there. Now I'm using the smaller edge. Like underneath those rocks. Just a little bit of lightness under there. And I can tone a lot of that white down. I just want to get it in there. Taking a dry brush and just kind of, blending it in, shaping it a little bit. Now that little runoff, I put some white around that bend up there, hugging that little hill. And putting some more white in the far distance. I do bring that stream around to the right a little bit. I create more of a bank. And that's with a little darker green light with touch of black. But creating kind of a shoreline there. So now I'm adding straight black, and I'm going to be putting some little twigs and you know, little woodsy things there, sticks and maybe a dead tree. I don't know. It's just something to fill in there to give it some interest. I really love doing this painting. I hope you do too. Because I almost see a finished one here. I hope you follow me, subscribe. That would be wonderful. Get all my most loved paintings. So until next time, happy painting and God bless.